Absolutely. So let's see here. I've been in the insurance business for about 17 years now. My dad did this for about 25 years before me, so it's kind of in the blood here.
Okay.
Um, I kind of serve two different roles, I guess, if you will, on a day-to-day basis. One is our lead employee benefits consultant. So anybody that has a corporate employee benefits program, help design those, help manage those, help out with analytics, wellness, literacy of just health insurance and employee benefits in general. Other part of my job is I'm a partner here, so I help with the sales part of our employee benefits team as well, and leading our team in that regard there as well.
Okay. I'm a former HR director, so explaining benefits, kudos to you.
Thank you. Yeah,
it's easy.
Yeah, pick a foreign language for the day, and that's probably what you're speaking to a lot of people sometimes.
I know you're right in the middle of open enrollment, so thank you for working this in. So what are some of the key issues that you're seeing in terms of employment in your sector, or for your business in particular?
Yeah, insurance has been a big, it's been a big part of recruiting and retention, especially with COVID the last couple of years. So I think insurance has always been a critical piece of your employee base. But I think in the last couple of years, I think it's become an even bigger piece. You see people job hopping all over the place right now. And I think that's led employers to probably chip in a little bit more in terms of what they're willing to pay towards benefits in general, is what we're seeing right now. The other side of that is, in the next couple of years, everything you read in the news right now is we've had some major issues with people doing their maintenance care that they should have done throughout COVID. So you look at people like diabetics, you look at people being isolated. So you're seeing a lot of mental health claims really spike. So we're going to see some upward trajectory in terms of health insurance costs in general, I think, over the next 18 to 24 months. And it's really about managing those costs, making those affordable, and having as attractive a benefits program as you can for recruiting and retention, especially given the job market right now.
Have you had any challenges with your team in terms of building it, in terms of retention?
We have insurance is kind of its own unique animal right now. There is a sector of the insurance industry in general that's very close to retirement, and there's not a lot of young people that look at insurance and go, man, that's really what I want to do when I grow up. So it's something that I like to talk about. I just turned 40 a couple weeks ago, so I'm kind of in that bridge, if you will, between the younger and the older generation right now. And if my dad would have been in this business, I probably wouldn't have been going, yeah, this is really what I want to do when I grow up. So I think it's talking to the younger generation about the importance of it. It's the importance of being able to protect your family from a health insurance perspective. It's important that when you need insurance, you have access to good insurance in general.
Okay. So what makes your business in particular stand out in the industry, both in terms of your customers and your team members?
Absolutely. So Insuramax, I call us, we're one of the last unicorns left out there. We're one of the last independently owned insurance agencies that isn't owned by, a much larger shop that has, 100 locations throughout the country. We're not owned by a large private equity firm. So there's a lot of autonomy that we give our employees in general. We don't, demand people punch the clock from 8:30 to 5. We're very big on, when you've done your job for the day, you can kind of hang it up for the day. But giving people the freedom to not only be able to manage their own schedules, but something else that we've done is we only make our associates come into the office 2 times a week. So 3 days a week, our folks can come, can stay at the house. And as long as they're getting their things done, especially this time of year, we really give them the freedom to manage their own schedules, and do the things that they need to do besides obviously working from 8:30 to 5 throughout the day.
Okay. So you're using that hybrid model, and has it been well received?
It has been well received. We actually moved into a new office in spring break, so the first week in April of 2022. So we've got some great office space that has been. It's helped us organize our teams a little bit more. Our previous location, we were sharing offices. We had some team members on the other side of the building and some over here, some over there. So it's allowed us to have more of a focus and a lot more collaboration amongst our teams. But the freedom and schedule allows us to get together as needed when we're not here, in person together every day.
Is everybody in the office on the same days, or do they pick the days?
We let everybody kind of pick the days. We've kind of found that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday seem to be the most popular days. Monday, everybody's kind of tired from the weekend. Fridays, everybody's, as soon as they get done, they're kind of ready to get their weekend going. So it seems that Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays seem to be the 3 days that people pick the most there.
Yeah, I've been trying to gauge that from different organizations. So, and I think you're going to be showing off your new office space by hosting a networking event that I saw.
I believe that is maybe this Friday, I think.
Okay.
Yes, I think that's this Friday, and then we're going to have a 1-year celebration of our move. So probably sometime at the end of March of 2023, beginning of April of 2023 as well. We were still kind of doing some home improvements, if you will, getting some pictures hung, getting some paint touched up, that kind of stuff. So really, like after everybody moves in life, whether it's in their home or their office, they have to fine tune a couple things before they can, show it off to the masses there.
Absolutely. So as you've grown and you've got some longevity in this business, have you faced challenges in growing the business, and what did you learn from that?
Yeah, I mean, I think growth is kind of like change, right? It brings it's great from an opportunistic standpoint, but it brings about its own set of challenges. As I mentioned, we've got a generation of the insurance industry that's closer to retirement, and we're struggling. I think our industry in general struggles to bring on new talent. So it's, how do you find the right people to get in the right seats? How do you find the right mix of experience? How do you find the right mix of people that are still motivated to help grow that business? So something that we've kind of done is we have some people that are very good mentors that have been in the business. We've got one person that worked for Humana for over 30 years on our team. We've got account executives that have been in the business for 20 plus years now. And it's kind of, how do you pair people up that are in that, maybe they're on a team together. So we'll have an account executive that works for the account manager. How do you have them pair up from a personality standpoint? How do you have them manage clients from a personality standpoint and a skill standpoint? And then how do you allow, when somebody does move on for whatever opportunity in life, like all things are inevitably, how do you allow that account manager to step into that account executive role? How do you allow that salesperson who's just getting on their feet, that may not have the connections that somebody that's done this for like 17 years like I have, how do you allow them to start growing their network as well? So those are all challenges that we have. Those are all opportunities that we have. And we've learned a lot over the last couple of years about what works and what doesn't work, but it's definitely a challenge for our industry in general.
Okay. Yeah, that's very interesting what you said about the generations, and I can absolutely see that. And it would be a challenge to get the young people in and get them paired up, but it sounds like you're handling it pretty well.
We're getting there. We have some speed bumps like every other organization does, but it's definitely a work in progress.
What advice would you give to someone who is trying to grow their team?
That's a good question. I mean, I think so. I've coached high school cross country and track. I've been the leader of this team. And, I think coaching a team in general, there are a lot of parallels in life. One is you need to be positive. One is that you need to realize that everybody has their own unique set of needs and circumstances in life. There's times when people struggle, that they need somebody to just listen and be their friend. There's times when people need to be challenged and have mentorship. But you need to remember that everybody is unique. You can't treat everybody the same from a personality standpoint. You can't treat everybody the same from an opportunistic, from a growth standpoint. And I think when you individualize what you're doing for each person on your team and figure out what really makes them tick and how to keep them going and be motivated and also pick them up like we all do, and we all need help sometimes in life. I think when you have a program like that, I think that's a lot more conducive to growth and a lot more conducive to team camaraderie in general. And that's how you form and keep a successful team moving forward.
I love your analogy as a coach.
Thank you.
When people say, what do you do as a coach? I'm like, have you ever played sports?
Right.
That kind of thing. So if you could begin your journey again, is there anything that you would do differently?
That's a great question. So I'll give you a little background on my own individual journey. So I started in this business right out of college with Humana. And then 9 months into my career, my dad had a heart attack one day and just fell over dead.
Oh.
And so my dad was kind of my mentor for my career, even though I only got 9 months, if you will, professionally with him. 23 years is my dad, but only 9 months from a mentorship standpoint. And I think that a lot of us in this industry, like I talked about, because there's such a big wave that's getting ready to retire in this industry, are really going to struggle from a mentorship perspective. And I think it's tough I know it was tough for me, certainly at 23, to look around and go, man, I mean, the guy I was going to look for from a mentorship that I thought forever is suddenly gone. I think identifying a mentor in this industry in general, but I think having a mentor in all aspects of your life is critical. But I personally, I did a poor job at 23 years old, finding someone or having that team there that would challenge me and make me grow a little bit more. I found that a little bit later in my career, probably about 28 or 29 years old. But I think I did myself a disservice not challenging myself and finding that coach, if you will, when I really needed it to get my career going there.
That's great advice. Thank you for sharing that. So tell me, where is Insuramax going in the future?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we've got this this great office space out here. And we've had some pretty incredible growth. 2021 was our best year from a revenue standpoint ever. We want to continue to grow. We want to continue to find strategic partnerships, not just from a client basis, but how do we work with other businesses to work together? So if we find, a payroll partner, we find a CPA firm, you find a legal firm, and we have relationships like that in the community. But how do we lean on each other more to get introductions that way? How do we find more strategic partnerships that way? But absolutely, our goal is
business coach in there.
It's right. Find your own business coach in there. Find your own mentor in there. Find somebody that knows what makes you tick and how you grow personally, but also as a team. And how do we fill up all the seats in this office? That's really our strategy moving forward.
Are you shooting for a particular number of employees that you're looking to hire in the next couple of years, or is it based on revenue numbers? What's the projection?
Yeah, I mean, so if we hit the same top line revenue that we did last year, if we use the same top line revenue, from last year, ideally in the next 5 years, it would be great to have, if we could hire 4 or 5 more people a year and maybe get to that 70 to 75 number, I would say by 2027. I think that's a realistic number. Okay. And also as we continue to grow, how do we remain independent, right? How do we not get swept up by the tidal wave of the insurance industry and the private equity that's sitting out there? So,
wow. I applaud you for the longevity and for the culture that you built. It sounds like you've got a solid group and a solid plan. So I wish you great success.